Hi again, everyone. I'm Olliemathews. This is Societal Narcissism. This video is sponsored by contribution from Vincent. And Vincent sent this in. It is, and I can't stand Mike Pence. If there's anybody I want to, if there's anybody who deserves vitriol and disgust, it's him. This coward motherfucker. This liar. This flat out liar. But he was doing this on News Nation, this town hall, and this question about transgenderism was brought up. So let's watch this, shall we?
We've got Melissa McAllister. She's a professor of social work in Iowa who's joining us.
A professor of social work. What in the hell is that?
Who I understand may have a little bit of a different view on this, but we wanted to let her ask you a question.
Oh, God, here's the emotional blackmail. Of course she is the social worker trying to push this on children.
Good evening, Vice President. I am an LGBTQ member, and I have trans individuals in my family.
That you created, because that's what the white feminist does. That's what the white feminist does, is destroy children and destroy society, because she hates herself.
Recent anti-LGBTQ bills have been signed into law all around this United States, including here in Iowa. So far in 2023, 15 transgender individuals and gender nonconforming people have been murdered.
By who? By who? Who's murdering them? Is it white people? Is it MAGA supporters? No. Whenever you see violence against trans people, and I'm sure there are some instances where it's done by white men. It's never white men, but it's rarely white men. It's usually black men or other minority men who are tricked. It's not even like they're just going out and hunting down trans members of the community. No. The violence, more times than not, okay, usually the preponderance of them comes after some kind of sexual encounter that the trans person didn't tell the guy that they were trans, that they were actually the opposite sex. And that's how that usually goes down.
The vast majority of those people have been Black and Latinx transgender women.
This is just nonsense. This is emotional blackmail.
It is very hard for me to ask you.
So it's white MAGA supporters that are hunting down black and brown members of the LGBT and assaulting them and worse. No, it's not. It's not. Not saying that it doesn't happen, that there isn't violence, but the violence is usually the result of a sexual encounter that goes wrong.
These questions after just hearing what I heard. What is your...
Gee, she's not looking for attention as she writes her name. She writes her full name on the piece of paper that she's holding. Actually, she's reading her question. She's not looking for attention, right? She's not looking for attention at all. This isn't about her and her anger and her issues and her trying to destroy children. No. She actually cares.
Policy plan to protect the transgender community, specifically Black and brown trans women, from historically high levels of violence.
Well, Melissa, let me say I'm deeply grieved to hear about those tragic circumstances. And
oh, stop it. Oh, with her and her histrionic blackmail.
And I hear your heart. I'm moved by your emotion. I truly am. Look, if I'm president of the United States, I'm going to
Yeah, you won't be. Yeah, you won't be, dude. Go back to gay conversion therapy. At least they got a gay guy answering the question for her, right? Am I right?
I'm going to see to the protection of every American and the rights of every American. But whether that squares with my values or not, and I'm a Bible-believing Christian. I have a particular view of these matters, and you have a different view of those, perhaps.
Look at her just trying to work herself up for emotional blackmail. Don't buy these feminist demons. Don't. She has her own agenda.
But I want you to know I believe in the freedom of religion. I believe in the freedom of conscience. I believe in the right of every American to live, to work, to worship according to the dictates of their conscience, and I'll respect that.
Right. As much as I hate to agree with them, do what you want when you're an adult. I don't care. You want to go change genders and you're an adult, have at it. Whatever makes you happy, whatever you think is going to make you happy. Stop pushing it on children. Stop. Their brains aren't developed. They don't know what they want.
But when I hope you also hear my heart on this. For me, what adults do in their lives, decisions that they make, including transgender adults, is one thing.
Right.
But for kids under the age of 18, there's a reason why we don't let you drive till you're 16. The state of Indiana, you can't get a tattoo.
Couldn't drive in New Jersey when you couldn't get your license till you were 17. Now I think Jersey, you can't get a full license until you're 18.
Until after you're 18. You can't drink until after you're 21. That's because we understand that kids don't fully understand the consequences of their actions.
And I don't agree about the drinking at 21. If you're old enough to go to war and die, you should be old enough to drink. Sorry. You get drafted. You get drafted at 17, 18, but you can't drink? That's absurd.
And so I hope you hear in my strong sentiment on the gender ideology that's being taught and has been taught in some elementary schools and promoted among many of our kids, that when it comes to surgical or chemical procedures, I really believe that we've got to protect our kids from decisions that will affect them the balance of their lives, while at the same time saying that adults can make decisions according to the dictates of their own conscience. And I want you to know, whether I agree with everything anyone in this country believes, that anybody that knows our family knows we love everybody. I believe in treating others the way I want to be treated, and I hope you hear my heart on that as well.
Melissa, do you understand the Vice President's idea that there is a difference between how adults conduct their lives and make decisions? And
of course you can, because you're not going to convince an adult who never had this thought in their head in the first place to do this. You could do that with children very easily, because children are susceptible to suggestion from adults.
That of how kids do?
Absolutely. I'm a social worker. I've been in this profession for 25 years. I've worked with kids most of my profession. I started an LGBTQ youth program in my own hometown. I started one in Terre Haute, Indiana, where I was threatened with KKK, and X is on my doorstep. And
that's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. Because if an LGBTQ person was threatened by the KKK in Indiana, it'd be front page news. It'd be all over the place. That's a lie.
And that was in 2020. I've worked with kids as young as 5 years old that have gender nonconforming, and
no, if 5 years old, somebody's putting that into their head. Or a 5-year-old sees, says something, puts on their mother's shoes and walks around. Oh, must be trans, must really want to be a girl. Bullshit. And this bugs me again, because I've said, and I'll keep telling you this. If I was 5 years old now with my mother, she would absolutely have me on hormone blockers. She would absolutely have me in a dress, without question. There is no question in my mind.
Identities that are transgender, and I've raised one.
Of course you've raised one. You've created one. You've created one, and now you want to keep creating them. Where's the father? Where is the father? Well, because you said at the beginning you're a member of the LGBT community. So obviously there's no father around. There must have been a time where you weren't. And now you're probably pissed off at the father. So what do you do? What do you do to his kid? What did you do to his son? You transed him. You transed him. Probably out of revenge.
And so to hear somebody tell me that it's not okay for young children to make decisions about their gender identity and to ask their school officials for support, protection, and help is appalling.
You're appalling. A 5-year-old. So kid can't make a decision about anything else other than changing their gender. And the fact that you would want to prevent other feminine narcopaths like her, sociopaths like her, who shouldn't be anywhere near children, who should have had her own child taken away years ago, that somehow she's demanding this be allowed. No. You're a monster, sweetheart. You transed your kid because you pissed off at the father. That's why you did what you did. And now you want to trans as many of them as you possibly can. Because that's what feeds your feminist agenda.
Melissa, thank you. Thank you very much.
Especially here in Linmar. Thank you, Linmar.
Melissa, thank you. We appreciate the question. Mr. Vice President, just to follow up on that, is there a way to have a situation where kids who have some real challenges or questions and view life in different ways, as Melissa indicated, can get help and their parents can get help for them?
Yes. Get them away from women like that. That's how you help them. And most times they are going to grow out of it. Before you destroy their ability to mature and have a normal sexual activity and maybe reproduce, have children, produce children, before you take that away from them at 5 years old, at least let them get to the point where they're an adult and maybe could grow out of it and make a decision on their own. Maybe the kid's just going to grow up gay. Does that mean he doesn't want to have a normal sexual functions? No, because they're gay? No. Should you be able to take that away from them? No, because on what, the say-so of this monster?
Without necessarily going all the way in these, what you would call extreme procedures.
Look, I would just tell you, and having been married to an elementary school teacher all these years, I just think we got to protect our kids. I really do.
Yeah.
And
I hate to agree with this jerk, but he's right.
I'm saddened by the experiences that she recounts.
Yeah.
I really am. I don't think anyone should ever be mistreated.
And nobody wants to see anybody get hurt or killed or be mistreated. But look at the stories of these children that were tricked and forced into it by people like her, doctors like her, people with an agenda looking to hurt society. No.
Or harassed or discriminated against because of who they are, or what they believe, or their race or creed or color. And anybody that knows me knows that's true. But I think at the end of the day, look, the idea that we are...
I'm sure he'd like to put him into conversion therapy, which is obviously not the answer either. Because he's just as nuts as she is.
Are telling young, impressionable kids that little boys that they can become girls, or little girls that they can become boys, I just think is wrong. And I would hope that Melissa would hear my heart. That I'd like to put my arm around any one of those young people and just say, we love you. But wait. Wait until you reach an age of majority. Wait until you have a better idea who you are.
Same thing you would tell him with a tattoo. And look how they label this. Pence dodges emotional question on violence against trans community. He didn't dodge the question. Listen, if he fucked up and he was dodging something, I'd be the first to call him out because I can't stand him. But he's not dodging anything here.
And then live the life that you want to live in this free country.
Yeah, he's right. And I hate to admit that Mike Pence is right, but he's right. This is a feminist with an agenda. This is a feminist pissed off at her ex, and is now looking to punish everybody out, her own kid, everyone else's kid, and punish him. That is the worst thing I can imagine you could possibly do to a father, is destroy their son. And you're powerless to do anything about it. She has an agenda. So, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you, Vincent, for the contribution and the topic. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, something you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up a Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you guys, all of this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with either the Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, and email links in the description box below. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. And also be sure to subscribe to both of my channels on Rumble. Follow me on Twitter and Telegram as well. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been Societal Narcissism. Take care, everyone.